pure and clean like this water right here. But then they decided to reject God's commands and obey Satan and give in to sin. Now sin makes us nasty and ugly like this iodine I'm putting in this water right now. It stains us. But the Lord saw that this was happening, and so he sent Jesus down to earth to make us pure again and clean like we were.
Oh.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am a little thirsty. So, here we go. Now, I don't like to use these clear cups that I use for magic because I don't want any like funky water drinking. So I'm gonna tell you a joke or two. What do you call a midget fortune teller who just escaped from prison? What do you call him? You call him a small medium at large. And what's the difference between a magician and your dad? Well, a magician, when he pulls the hat off his head, he pulls the rabbit off his head. When your dad, he pulls the hat off his head, he pulls the hair off his head. Say, Mom, where did you get this water? It's kind of funky. It's not coming out. I have recently found out the most effective way to make an American flag. Now, all you need is some red and white strips of cloth like this. Just put them into the magic bag, and you have a blue piece of cloth with stars on it, and you just put that in the bag too. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. I must have missed it. So I'll need to put that back in there. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Where did the other stuff go? But the flag reminds me of freedom because, in America we have freedom, but it reminds me of God's true freedom too. The red reminds me of the blood that Jesus spilled for us, and the white reminds me of how he makes us white as snow when he cleanses us, and the blue and stars reminds me of the hope of heaven and eternity with him. Now, if someone would like to come up and help me with the trick real quick.
Brian.
Or two.
Oh, Lydia's.
Now first here, just use this mic, and since they can't see the table very well right here, you just tell them there's no cards on here, is there? Just the cards in my hand? Yeah?
Correct.
So I have some cards. First I have an ace of hearts. Now that means that he has given his heart to Jesus and he has been cleansed. So I'm going to put him face down like that, you see? Alright? Now there's the 2 of spades. You see how it's black? He hasn't been cleansed by the blood of Jesus. So I'm going to put him face up like that. And I have a 3 of hearts. So I'm going to put him face down just like the ace. And a 4 of spades. And so I'm going to lay him face up just like I did with the 2. Last but not least, the 5 of hearts. So I'll lay him face down. No other cards. So someone told me once that sharing the gospel was as easy as ABC. Now, as Christians, we are called to share the gospel with people we know, like friends and family and co-workers. And so I'm going to try a little experiment. A, B, C. Now look at that. They did their job.
Oh.
Now, Easter, it's not here yet. It's still a little bit of ways away, but it's one of my favorite Bible stories. So, Here, let's get this one going. I have 3 pieces of paper with me right here. I have a gray, a green, and a white. And I have a card with Jesus' face on it. Now Jesus, on a Friday, he was executed, he was hung on a cross by his followers. They got his body and they put him in linen. Now this white piece of paper, that's going to represent the linen. And then they put him in a borrowed tomb. So that green paper right there, that's going to stand for the borrowed tomb. Now Zachary, can you guess what this stands for? This stands for the stone. So they put him in the grave and they rolled the stone in front of the entrance so no one could come in or out. And he stayed there. He stayed there Friday night. He stayed there Saturday. He stayed there Saturday night. But when the women came in the morning, what did they find? They found that the stone was rolled away and that there was no one in the linen. Now I have one more trick for you up here. So as you can see, I have a 10 of clubs, a king of hearts, and a 2 of spades. Now in a minute, I'm going to ask you to take this middle card and put it up to your chest, but I don't want you to look at it and I don't want you to show it to them, okay? Go ahead and take it. There you go. Now on the count of 3, I want you to look at it and show it to all of them. 1, 2, 3. Not only is Jesus the king of hearts, but he should be the king of your heart.
Oh.
Okay, last trick of the night. So this string right here, this is going to represent the Bible. Now, the Bible consists of 66 books, 39 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament, written over 1,500 years by 40 different authors in 3 different continents in 3 different languages. Now, like I said, the Bible is divided into 2 parts. So I'm going to cut this string into 2, right there. Now, we're going to focus on the Gospels and what is in the Gospels tonight. So there's 4 of them. So I'm going to cut both of these into 2 parts. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And what is in the Gospels is the life of Jesus. So the birth, the life, the death, and the resurrection. So now, I'm going to put these strings in there. Now, on the count of 3, I'm going to pull it back out, but it'll be tied back up. So 1, 2, 3. And no matter how many ways we can divide it up into, it was all meant to be one story. And that is it.